Hello everybody, welcome back. This is lesson 11 in our acid-base unit, which happens to be unit 10. The plan for today is to practice titration. So yesterday we introed it and I walked you through a bunch of different examples. So the plan for today is to have you guys work on the reasons practice first and then come back to watch this video for explanations should you need them. So it looks like tonight you have a titration castle learning due tonight. Just double check to make sure that you're following along to the schedule. It also looks like you have the unit 10 castle learning due on Friday, May 5th. Again, this should be accurate. Just make sure you are checking the calendar on the website and following what your teacher is saying. Okay, so let's just jump into this. In titration, gives you a bunch of stuff. Again, we talked about the equation MAVA equals MBVB, and we labeled, or listed, I should say rather, everything. MBVB, OH. And again, I like to take this extra step to look into the amount of H's and OH's, because that does change the molarity of the acid and or base. So looking into it, 5 mils of a 2 molar NaOH, that is our base. So we have this, we have 5 mils of it, and our OH, our base gives off one OH group. And then our acid, we have 10 mils of it. That's our volume of our acid. Our acid gives off 1 H. We're looking for the concentration or the molarity of that. And then, make some room here. Ma times 10. Again, if they're the same, you can just ignore it. Or if they're both 1, you can just ignore it. Equals 2 times 5. So, doing some math, you get Na times 10 gives you equals 10. To get Ma by itself, divide both sides by 10. So the molarity of your acid is equal to 1 molar, and that is answer choice A. Okay, number 2. You have to list everything out. So MA, VA, H, MB, VB, OH. In titration, 20 mils of this. So this is talking about our base. So 20 mils, you have 0.15 molar. Our base gives off 1 OH. Our acid, we have 24 milliliters of it. We're looking for the concentration. Again, that gives off 1 H. When we plug stuff in, we get Ma times 24 is 0.150 times 20. So that is the same thing as Ma 24 equals 3. To get Ma by itself, divide both sides by 24. So the molarity of your acid is 0.125 molar, and that is answer choice A. Okay. Number 3 says which process is used to determine the concentration of an acid. This is a straight definition question, and this is titration. Okay, number 5 says how many milliliters of, even before we read it, we know we're doing titration, so we need to list out everything. MB, VB, OH. So what volume of a 2 molar NaOH, so that's our base, is needed to neutralize 24 milliliters of 1 molar HCl, and that gives us 1H. So we plug stuff in, you get 0.6 times, oh, I'm doing 4 and not 5, sorry. Okay, 1 times 24, again if they're both 1 you can ignore them, equals 2 times VB. Do some math, you get 24 equals 2 VB, divide both sides by 2, and the volume of your base is equal to 12 milliliters, which is answer choice B. Okay. Now doing number 5. Again, we're going to start off the same way, listing out MA, VA, or H, then MB, BB, OH. How many milliliters? So all of this is our acid. We're looking for volume. We know concentration is 0.6, and our acid gives off 2 H's. And then we have 100 mils of our base. It's a 0.3 molar solution, and it gives off 2 OHs. So now we can plug stuff in. We get 0.6 times 2 times BA gives you 0.3 times 100 times 2. So to bring this up to here, we get 1.2 VA equals 60. Divide both sides by 1.2. You get your volume of your acid to be 50 milliliters, which is answer choice B. Okay. Number 6, we have, again, the same thing. MAVA equals MBVB as our equation. List out everything that we have. So the question was nice, and it gave us all of us in a very nice fashion. So that makes this part a little bit easier. So our acid concentration is 0.5. We have 20 mils of our acid. It gives off 1H. We're looking for our concentration of our base. We have 40 mils of it, and it gives off 1. So again, we can ignore that. So we get 0.5 times 20 equals MB times 40. Do some math. 10 equals MB times 40. Divide both sides by 40. And you get the molarity of your base to be 0.25 M, which is answer choice C. Okay, numbers 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all based on this lovely information. I'm not going to even bother reading it to you. You'll see why. So, number 7 says, state the color of phenolphthalein. So, we have to go to table M. That has all of your acid-base indicators on it. If HCl was added and titrated with 50 mils of NaOH. So this question is a strict graphing question. So if it's adding 50 mils of NaOH, that's this x-axis. 50 mils is right there. Go all the way up. You have a pH of about 12.5. That is not your answer, but if you go to table M, phenolphthalein at a pH of 12 is pink. So if it says state the color, you just need one word. The answer is pink. doesn't relate to anything, that long paragraph that the question gave you. Question 8 says, based on the graph, determine the volume of NaOH needed to neutralize HCl. So when we're neutralizing, that's a pH of 7. So it's saying, at a pH of 7, how much NaOH did you have to use? Go straight to the graph, and you get 25 milliliters. Okay, for number 9, it says complete the equation for neutralization for the first titration. Again, nothing so far has referred back to the paragraph. This kind of goes back to what we did the other day, and it's asking you what salt, essentially, because this is our base, this is our acid. We have water, and what salt is that? So break up your base, break up your acid. Outside with outside, inside with inside. So your insides give you that water. So now you have to make something with Na, SO4. Na has a +1 charge. SO4 is a -2 charge. Again, look at table E for polyatomic ions. Crisscross, you get Na2, SO4, and that's it. So kind of a review of what we did a few days ago. Number 10, the positive ion present in this. So that's an acid. What ion do you have in acids? That is H+. If you wrote the hydrogen ion as well, that is fine. So if we go back to this long paragraph that the question gave you, we did not look at it once. It didn't help us whatsoever. So sometimes these questions give you way more info than you actually need. Number 11. So we have to look at the paragraph. And if we pull out info, MA, again, list out what we have. We're looking for the concentration of the acid. We're given 25 mils of it. Our acid gives off 1H. For our base, we have a concentration of 0.2. We have 15 mils of it. And that base gives off 1OH. So again, we can ignore that portion of it. If we plug stuff in, MA times 25 equals 0.2 times 15. When we do some math, you get MA 25 equals 3. Divide both sides by 25. The molarity of your acid is 0.12 m. That is it for this question. And lastly, number 12 doesn't really is not affected by the paragraph that the question is based on. It's asking you for the two products. So again, you're going to form your salt and your water. This is a review from the other day. Separate your acid, separate your base, outside with outside, inside with inside. Your outsides give you that HOH, which is your water. Your inside, your Na and Cl. Na has a +1 charge, Cl has a -1 charge. Crisscross, you get NaCl, and that is your final product. So, this is it for titration practice. The Castle learning that is due tonight on titration will help out more. Just make sure you're taking your time with this. And then the Unit 10, Castle learning review was also due at the end of this week. So just make sure you're staying on pace with everything. That is it. Have a wonderful day.